Welcome to the World Wire Update. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon for more updates and thrilling short scenes. In the chessboard of global power, the movement of goods has always shaped empires. From the ancient Silk Road to the bustling ports of today, trade routes have been the lifeblood of civilizations, determining who rises and who falls. The ability to move resources, ideas, and people across vast distances has defined the fate of nations for centuries. For centuries, Western-controlled sea routes dictated trade. The world's oceans became highways of commerce, patrolled by powerful navies and dominated by Western interests. Whoever controlled the seas, controlled the flow of wealth and power. Today, that order is being challenged. New routes are emerging, and the balance of power is shifting from the waves to the rails. The world is witnessing a transformation as overland connections begin to rival the old maritime monopolies. The new direct rail line from Xi'an, China to Tehran, Iran, is more than a logistical feat, it's a strategic shift. This railway carves a path through mountains and deserts, linking east and west in a way not seen for generations. This Iron Silk Road, a pillar of China's Belt and Road Initiative, connects two nations intent on bypassing American dominance. It's a bold statement, signaling a new era of cooperation and ambition that stretches far beyond simple trade. For China, it secures energy and expands influence deep into the Middle East. The railway is a vital link for resources, but also a bridge for culture, technology, and diplomacy, strengthening China's hand in a region long shaped by outside powers. For Iran, it's a lifeline against Western sanctions. The rail line offers new economic opportunities, opening doors to markets and partners that were once out of reach, and providing hope for a more independent future. The inaugural train's 15-day journey is a symbol. Economic exchange can now bypass the US dollar and Navy. It's a demonstration that new alliances and new possibilities are taking shape, right before our eyes. This railway is the first major result of the $400 billion 25-year China-Iran pact, turning promises into reality. It's a tangible outcome of years of negotiation, investment and vision, setting the stage for even deeper ties. China isn't just buying oil, it's buying influence, building a sphere of cooperation that counters Western isolation. Through infrastructure, investment, and shared interests, a new network of power is being woven across continents. The Iron Silk Road is a declaration. China is building a new world order with steel, not sanctions. Each mile of track is a message. The future will be shaped by those who connect, not those who divide. The era of maritime monopoly is ending. A new continental artery is open. As trains thunder across continents, the world's balance of power is being redrawn, one rail at a time. For decades, US naval power and financial sanctions have been the backbone of Western pressure on Iran. The US Navy's dominance in key waterways, combined with the global reach of the dollar, has allowed Washington to control the flow of goods and money, shaping the world's trade routes and punishing adversaries with economic isolation. But now, the China-Iran rail corridor rewrites the rules, shifting vital trade from vulnerable sea lanes to secure land routes. This overland connection is more than just a railway. It's a strategic lifeline, linking Iran directly to China and the broader Eurasian market, and reducing reliance on maritime shipping. By bypassing choke points like the Strait of Hormuz and Suez Canal, Iran shields itself from American interdiction. These maritime bottlenecks, once critical leverage points for the US and its allies, are now being sidestepped, making it much harder to disrupt Iranian trade. Rail cuts transit time from 40 to 15 days, making trade faster, safer, and less exposed to Western control. Overland routes are less vulnerable to naval blockades, piracy, or sudden geopolitical crises at sea, offering a reliable alternative for both exporters and importers. The railway enables Iran to export and import outside the reach of US sanctions using alternative financial systems. Transactions can be settled in yuan or rial, sidestepping the dollar and the Western banking system, and allowing Iran to keep its economy afloat despite heavy restrictions. As maritime threats grow, like Houthi attacks in the Red Sea, land routes offer stability and predictability. Overland trade is less likely to be disrupted by regional conflicts or naval confrontations, making it a safer bet for countries under pressure. US sanctions lose their bite when trade is bilateral and overland. Oil flows, funding Iran despite Washington's efforts. The ability to move energy and goods directly to partners like China means Iran can maintain vital revenue streams even as Western powers try to tighten the screws. American sea power's reach is shrinking as land re-emerges as the new frontier of strategic competition. The balance of power is shifting, with railways and overland corridors challenging the dominance of navies and the old rules of global trade. The Iron Silk Road is a game-changer, undermining the very concept of maximum pressure. As rail links multiply, Iran and its partners are building a new economic geography, one where sanctions and sea power matter less, and overland connections shape the future. The West quickly recognized the threat posed by the China-Iran railway. In think tanks and government offices from Washington to London, analysts pored over maps and intelligence reports, realizing that this new corridor could fundamentally alter the balance of power across Eurasia. The railway promised to connect China's vast manufacturing base directly to the Middle East, bypassing traditional Western-controlled routes and reducing the impact of maritime choke points. In June 2025, U.S. and Israeli airstrikes targeted Iranian infrastructure, including key sections of the new rail line. The strikes were precise, aiming to disrupt the flow of goods and send a clear warning to both Tehran and Beijing. The world watched as plumes of smoke rose over the desert, signaling a new phase of confrontation. The message was clear: the West would not accept a Eurasian realignment without a fight. Political leaders issued stern statements, and protests erupted in major cities, reflecting deep anxieties about shifting alliances and the erosion of Western influence. Iran, newly empowered, responded by closing the Strait of Hormuz, triggering a tense global standoff. Oil tankers sat idle and energy markets trembled as the world's most critical maritime artery was suddenly blocked. With the rail link, Iran's threat was no longer a bluff, it had real leverage. The ability to move goods overland meant Iran could bypass the strait, giving it a powerful bargaining chip in any negotiation. The conflict revealed a new era, where infrastructure is now a battleground, and economic corridors are strategic assets. Repair crews raced to restore damaged tracks, while governments scrambled to secure their supply chains and protect vital links. Western strikes only deepened the Beijing-Tehran partnership, accelerating efforts to build resilient networks. Engineers and diplomats worked side by side, determined to fortify the corridor against future attacks and ensure its survival. Iran's continental reach now rivals its naval weakness, shifting the balance of power in the region. The new railways became arteries of influence, allowing Iran to project power deep into Central Asia and beyond. The opening salvos of this new great game are fought with both bombers and bulldozers, where every bridge track is a potential flashpoint in the struggle for global dominance. The China-Iran railway is the most visible sign of a deepening alliance. Their $400 billion 25-year pact integrates Iran into China's Belt and Road, trading oil for investment and technology. For Iran, Chinese capital modernizes its economy and secures sovereignty. For China, it guarantees energy and a Middle East foothold. The Apran dry port, now a bustling hub, shows how Chinese investment is transforming Iran's trade. This is strategic investment, not aid. Each nation gains security and leverage. Joint military exercises and intelligence sharing deepen the partnership, making the railway a protected strategic asset. The steel rails now cement a formidable Eurasian axis. The China-Iran rail line is just one strand in a vast web of Eurasian connectivity. China's strategy: build interlocking railways, highways, and pipelines to reorient global trade from sea to land. In 2024, regional leaders met in Tehran to coordinate a unified rail network stretching from East Asia to Europe. New projects like the Ayagoz-Tacheng and CKU railways add redundancy, making the network resilient to disruption. This web challenges India's ambitions and threatens to marginalize rivals, as China's golden ring of influence expands. The race is on to build the infrastructure that will define the 21st century. China's resources and vision are pulling Eurasia into its orbit, redrawing the map of power. The new Silk Road is steel, not myth. The China-Iran rail corridor leaves the West at a crossroads. Sanctions and military strikes have failed to halt the project, only strengthening the Beijing-Tehran alliance. Each new sanction pushes them closer, blunting Western influence and creating a parallel economic system. The West faces a choice: continue a reactive, risky hybrid approach, or pivot strategically. A true pivot would mean engaging with a multipolar world and competing on infrastructure and investment. But political realities make this difficult, so the initiative remains with Beijing and Tehran. The West is now reacting, not leading, as the alternative order takes shape. The steel tracks from China to Iran mark the fault lines of a new global order. The age of American naval supremacy and maritime trade dominance is eroding. Vast land corridors now let continental powers challenge sea powers, creating integrated economic zones less vulnerable to blockade. China's strategy is to build a resilient Eurasian bloc with infrastructure, not fleets. This is a quiet revolution, cranes and cargo trains, not gunboats. The West must rethink its assumptions. Isolation and threats no longer contain rivals. Competing now means strategic creativity, economic competitiveness, and new diplomacy. The future is being written in steel across Eurasia. The China-Iran Railway is a chapter in a story of ambition and a new world map. The era of uncontested Western dominance is over. The game has changed.